Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Rendezvous with Anzar Saqib on CxO Global TV. Now, CxO Global Forum has successfully managed to bring together a lot of the brightest minds in the world. They're not only the thought leaders, but also domain experts and those individuals who are really thought of as the movers and the shakers, the inventors, the explorers of the thought and knowledge economy all over the world. Today, as well, we've got a very extraordinary gentleman joining us from the States. His name is Mr. Jawwad Paracha. Um, he is a man that needs absolutely no introduction. He's been working with IBM, in a very key position. I'll let him introduce himself. But how I would like to introduce him today is as an inventor. So he's got a lot of patents registered. We'll talk to him. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Uh, Welcome to the show, Jawwad Saab.
Thank you very much, Azna, for inviting me to this session. Thank you very much, CxO Global Forum, for this initiative. Um, this is definitely something to learn from and provide our feedbacks there.
Right. So, Mr. Jawwad, now let's jump right into it. Let's talk a little bit about your professional experience. If anyone looks at your LinkedIn, mashallah, we see Stanford, we see MIT, and we also see you as the global program manager for IBM. Now, that's a stellar record, and mashallah, a lot of uh, Pakistanis cannot even dream of reaching these heights. But nonetheless, the fact that you've done it is inspirational. But we want to know, let's rewind back into uh, the past and where did this begin and how did you end up here?
Yeah. So I graduated from Sasset University. I did electronics engineering, and then in 2008, I went into a local company as a network engineer. My journey with IBM started in 2009 as a network engineer, and then I did multiple roles as a technical professional, and then uh, in 2014, I joined this global team. As a part of this global team, I have now worked in almost 180 countries across the world. The only 16, 17 countries where I have not worked are those which does not have the business relationship with United Nations. So apart from that, I've been blessed to have worked with entire world. I work uh, on large scale complex project. I mean, they can be from revenue point of view, they are uh, huge in numbers. And then I work mostly with the team across multiple countries. I have team reporting to me from multiple countries in Europe, US, Canada. I Apart from my professional journey, as you mentioned, I'm also an inventor. I have multiple patents to my name. And Alhamdulillah, life has been very good. This role has been very challenging in a sense that I learn a lot day in, day out.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jawwad Paracha, and mashallah, what a journey from Sir Syed Institute. And I'm sure a lot of people that are listening today are inspired just like I am. But there's also a very interesting side to you as an inventor. A lot of times when we hear about the startup culture here, whatever, we see that a lot of previous ideas are then taken and replicated and made successful, but very few inventors that we hear of. So let's hear a little bit about your inventions and patents.
Yeah, so my inventor journey started in 2016. I was invited to um, a whole education plan that was set up by IBM. And then my thought process around how to invent and everything around that started 2017 with the global team. And my first patent was actually around speech to media translation. So what it means is that whatever you type or whatever you say, for example, if I say that I feel very happy today, and I feel like sitting on top of the mountain. So that whole thing is converted to some sort of media, for example, pictorial. So there will be a picture saying with a mountain with me on top of that smiling. So the purpose of this invention was actually to bridge the communication gap that I often see when I travel to interior Sindh or any place else, where you can communicate. You cannot communicate with the elders because they don't know how to write, or they don't list. They don't understand your language. So that's where the whole thought process is started. And then my journey around invention has been very interesting. I now have around 7 patents to my name, and then there are multiple others that are in pipelines right now.
That's what a proud moment for Pakistan, indeed. So out of all these patents, which one do you think is the most closest to your heart?
This one, the one that I just mentioned, this has been very interesting. I worked with my colleague in US. She had at that time 950 patents. So that journey of learning from her and then translating my idea into patent, I think that was the peak of my career, if I put it this way.
Right. Very interesting to know. So let's talk a little bit about the fact that you have seen decades of professional journeys and experiences. You've seen transitions, and especially since you've been working in the technology sector. We know now that our workforce is becoming highly technology dependent. Especially post COVID, the last couple of years, we've seen some massive digital transformation all over the world, not just in the West, but also in Southeast Asia, for example. Let's talk about in the context of Pakistan. Critically evaluate the situation, and where do you see the challenges, opportunities for Pakistan?
Yeah, I think COVID played a vital role in changing the way we work in our region. This way of working was changed long time back in the Western countries. I know people at IBM who have been working, if you put it this way, as a transformation. They have been work from home from 2001, 2002. So work from home has been there for a long time, and in fact, I've been doing work from home for since 2012 as well. So, but um, everything around work from home and how the technology evolved and how people started to work and how cultures started to impact, I think COVID played a very vital role. And then moving forward, I don't think there are any challenges associated to it. I think there are only opportunities associated to it. The opportunities are big because right now, right now we are in an era where we see a lot of freelancing happening. We see a lot of work coming in from the Western countries, and these sort of things will I think will expand further, and we would see a lot of opportunities for our youth to work on these things.
Right. So you have made a very valid point. However, mind me for being the devil's advocate here, but like if I do speak about myself being a millennial, we were still introduced to technology very early on. I grew up with a cell phone. Similarly, the digital natives of today, which is Gen Z, they're digital natives as well. But if we talk about the C levels in most organizations, like apart from the CTOs and the CISOs, we see, especially in banking and everything, there's still people who are finding it very challenging to adopt to new technology. So now we've introduced a lot of softwares, even for HR. How do you think this transition can be made easier?
I think the equation is pretty simple. If somebody is not evolving in the digital space, I think their time is limited in the business industry because your competitor is going forward with the newer technologies, and then with the help of the newer technologies, they can increase the production, they can
With the newer tech.
expand their business exponentially. So I think it's a do or die situation. I think there is no two ways around it, and then our C level has to understand that as well, that it's time is now or it's never, sort of a thing. So I mean, there is no option other than just evolving in the technology space.
Um, so now we know that globally, gas prices are rising. Say, oil is becoming more and more expensive. However, one more thing that we saw evolve in the past decade or so is the importance of big data, to the extent that it is said that data is the new oil and gold. Um, I've seen you comment on this. Could you, for our audience today, give your take on the matter?
I think if I put it this way, data was a gold, not a gold right now. Data was a gold, and then the companies have utilized this as a gold. I think 4 5 years back, and they are still bearing that fruit. But moving forward, this data, and then we continue to get the data from different sources. IoT is expanding in every direction. We are getting a lot of insights into technology. We are continuing to get the data as we speak. And then AI right now is at a point where it is mature enough to make a lot of decisions around this data. And then moving forward, I think AI coupled with quantum computing, because now the era of quantum computing is starting up and it's gradually ramping up. A lot of companies are working on that space. I think AI coupled with quantum computing and sort of power that quantum computing is bringing and will be bringing. I think we are now moving in an era where the real time decisions around data will be more common. Right now, we see a lot of decision making that are offline or takes time. But I think post quantum computing era, we see a lot of live decision making through AI, and data will definitely play a big role on that.
Absolutely. The possibilities are exponential. I mean, already, we see a lot of data-driven decision making that is happening. It's removed human errors, human biases, decisions made on hunch. So we can only imagine the possibilities, not just for the private sector, but also the public sector in terms of, relief efforts or in terms of even national security. So interesting times ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Speaking of interesting, we also know that you are an avid sportsman. So that is something that's very interesting about you. Would you like to elaborate on that? And what role has sports played in your professional career?
So I'm a marathon runner. I've done a couple of marathons, and then I've done London Marathon as well last year. That started my marathon journey,
Wow.
42.2 kilometers of running. And then I'm also a long distance cyclist as well. I cycle a few days a week, and then run few days a week, and then now into the swimming as well. So,
So
uh,
triathlon
sport,
runner on the way. A triathlon athlete.
sorry, I
I said,
didn't catch you.
so we will be seeing you participating in a triathlon soon.
Yep, that's the plan. That's the plan. And I wrote an article a few months back that was published on Dawn News as well, around the around how Pakistan is ramping up in the sports, especially the marathons and the cycling arena. And to me, sports play a very vital role in whatever I do. In fact, many of my patents were made during my runs, and many of my ideas came during cycling. And many of the business problem that I deal with day in day out, I solve them when I'm running or cycling or doing any sports activity. And it's I think again, as a business professional and sort of stress that we bear every day, sports is definitely something that each of us should do and should work on.
Um, I'm sure a lot of the audience are definitely motivated to pick up that sport now. Moving on, so, since we did not know about the greater audience did not know about your sports journey, they didn't know about your inventions. But what are three more things, facts about you that the audience at large probably does not know?
I think as a global program manager, I work. I mean, I have worked in different cultures, different. I've seen business transform, and then the one thing I feel very blessed about is that working globally has given me that vision of seeing in and out throughout the world. The other aspect around me that people don't know is that apart from being running and cycling, I'm also a scuba diver. I'm also avid uh, tracker. I often head to the mountains to do certain things. And then the third thing is that I'm advisor to many of the startups. I work on many of the philanthropy work. In fact, I'm working for an initiative called Mission Beyond. That is right now being driven by CEOs of different companies in UK, and I'm helping them expand their things in UK and then hopefully expand them globally as well. And that initiative is a very large scale, and I would encourage everybody listening that they go out on LinkedIn and search for Mission Beyond initiative and look on what they are doing and what they plan to do.
Thank you so much for sharing those details with us. So, up next, we've got a very interesting round that we call the rapid fire. So, I'm going to name a few phrases, and you have to tell me quickly the first thing that comes to your mind, right? Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay. Number one, artificial intelligence.
Has a bright future. Will be expanding horizontally and vertically in every direction. Many use cases we will see in the coming future.
Blockchain.
Blockchain is an alternate technology. We already have a few things in the past that are equivalent to blockchain, and we will continue to see those technologies that are alternate to blockchain get mature as compared to blockchain.
IoT.
IoT is my pet area. IoT will expand. IoT will play a key part in getting AI the required data. IoT is something that is bound to expand vertically in terms of number of sensors. So we are seeing a big shift in the technology domain around IoT.
Metaverse.
Metaverse will be, Metaverse is again an alternate technology around AR and VR. And AR and VR are sort of things that have been expanding, but not at the rate that people thought it would. Metaverse is no different than that. I mean, there are additional features in it that have been mentioned, but I see AR and VR technology expanding, and then hopefully they will contribute more towards metaverse as well.
Right. And the last one, the most interesting one, is Jawwad Paracha.
I the only thing I love hearing is that my number of patents grow up. I want to I in the near future I want to make a mark on Pakistani community that we also can contribute as a inventor, not only innovators, because I feel innovation is a byproduct of invention. And then if we target for invention, we can reach newer heights, be it the startup community, be it the business community. I think invention will be the key success factor for Pakistan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jawwad Paracha. It's been an honor and a privilege speaking to you. Please keep contributing to the knowledge economy. But before we sign off today, I have one final question for you. What do you feel is the utility of forums like CxO Global?
I think gathering the thought leaders and the business expert and the technology expert under one umbrella under CxO Global. I think this is phenomenal work, not easy at all. And then bringing such professionals on the front stage and letting them speak about different things, different aspects through these sessions and other sessions that we conduct. I think this will result in this will this will result in a lot of different things that will come up around startup, around technology, around business. So thank you very much for what you guys are doing, and I wish you best of luck.
Thank you very much, sir. The honor has been ours, and we hope to hear more from you soon.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for hosting this session.
Ladies and gentlemen, that'll be all for today. But if you want to learn more about Mr. Jawwad Paracha, please log on to CxOforum.global, and you can even follow him on his LinkedIn profile. Please keep us updated with your comments and feedback. We love hearing from you. So here's me signing off. Up until next time, we'll join you with another very interesting guest.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.